honestly think Wit Studio has an addiction to world-ending situations brought on by some sort of being that is much more powerful than humans, and where humans are forced into hiding behind a giant wall. I mean, this is the third time they've done it, but maybe this time they can actually make a good one. But to be honest, this is Attack on Titan's The Walking Dead's Train Edition, and well, hey, I can't blame Wit. I mean, all that money that came rolling in from Attack on Titan, I mean, it got so big, it got into Walmart. I mean, how many animes do you actually see other than Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, and maybe Naruto inside Walmart? So they're obviously going to keep going with this, because people obviously have some sort of obsession or fetish watching people get eaten. And this show gives you some of that with, this time, zombies, so they can pull in the Walking Dead kids. We are actually placed in some sort of steampunk Japan, which is actually pretty interesting to see, even though we haven't seen a lot of the areas in the show yet. But at the beginning, we of course have our main character doing main character things, protecting people from injustice. And they're the dick aristocrats who look down on the trash commoners. And then there's the princess, of course, sympathizing with the commoners. And the place empty as that is attacked by the Kabane, I think that's how you say it, which are the zombies, or what the zombies are called. And they're zombies that have iron hearts, and that can't be broken by normal guns on Steam. But our MC is working on a gun that can pierce their heart, which they have gunpowder, but they don't use it for some reason. I'm a little confused on that front, but I'm getting off topic. And with all this sarcasm, you might honestly think that this show is just a trash ripoff of Attack on Titan. And even though that last part is somewhat true, this show does a lot of things better in the first 3 episodes than Attack on Titan did in the first 13 episodes. And that is pacing. Because in the 3 episodes, we honestly get more plot progression than a lot of Attack on Titan, which was Attack on Titan's biggest problem. But along with the plot progression and some meaningful events actually happening, we get some great action to boot, and situations where characters, for the most part, act rationally. Maybe people get a little annoying at times, like Mr. Dickhead over here, but their actions, for the most part, like I said, make sense nonetheless. And speaking of characters, the very important, and totally not a ripoff of Eren, is more likable and not whiny or preachy little kid like Eren. He still gets a little preachy, but I feel he's not as bad, and a lot of his actions are more reasonable and understanding. And he's smart and tries to help out a lot in situations without making himself seem almighty and somewhat annoying. And his motivation might not be anything new, but is so far told in a way that makes you care for what happens to him, for me at least. We also have a badass samurai shoe girl, Mume, who is the character I'm enjoying the most, with badass and also somewhat unpredictable personality, and also that I don't give a fuck attitude most of the time, which may make more sense later on once we learn more. Then the princess, whose words seem to be like a god to these people, where everyone listens to everything she says, and she seems somewhat generic in the first 2 episodes, but has time to shine in the latter half of the 3rd episode, and starts to get past that worthless princess trope. But we will see. And the rest of the cast has their own little quirks that fit to what's going on in the show, like the MC's friend and Sergeant Dickhead, with no one so far seeming out of place. And then whether or not you are getting into the show or not, it's hard to not notice how well drawn and animated the show is. Looks like the Attack on Titan money really is coming into good use, because this show is beautiful. The art has an emphasis on shadows and lighting seen almost everywhere, with even background characters having proper shadowing. There is also a lot of amount of detail put into almost every character, especially the princess, and the character designs seem to be somewhat more realistic, at least facial feature wise, where their eyes aren't giant, and it's pretty nice to see something like it. And also backgrounds and the Japan steampunk style is done very well, with everything fitting seamlessly. Animation wise is smooth as butter, with action scenes having that Attack on Titan feel, especially when Mume is wearing a device that looks like it's pulled straight out of that show. It has some top tier animation so far. Music wise is, of course, I know I'm referring to Attack on Titan a lot, but it's because a lot of people that worked on that show worked on this one, especially like the music. And the opening isn't as catchy as Attack on Titan's opening, but the song sure has the feel of it. And the animation to accompany it is, like the rest of the show, beautiful and full of energy and action. The ending is slower, but I actually enjoyed it more than the OP, and it being followed by flower petals for the background. So in the end, in these 3 first episodes, They have got a lot going for it with an interesting and faster paced version of Attack on Titan with some useful, somewhat interesting characters and then some superb animation art to go along with it. All I'm waiting for is for Ikoma to have his
Kill them all. Every last one.
moment. But yeah, so far I would say give this show a try, especially if you enjoyed Attack on Titan or shows with zombies and gore. Yet if you get into the show and if you find it to be too much like Attack on Titan for your taste, then you might want to just pass on it. But yeah, that is my impressions of KABANERI of the Iron Fortress. Tell me what you think of the show so far, or are you going to watch it or give it a try? But my name is Arking Keyblade, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.